to lawyers as well as members of the public. All judgments are uploaded on the platform within 24 hours of pronouncement. In the interest of uniformity and harmonizing the manner in which the judiciary in India functions, we recently introduced a uniform citation system or a neutral citation system, which is now being followed across India. Like clout, these initiatives aim to democratize access to information. The democratization of access to knowledge has helped break down monopolies based on old feudal structures. We are on the anvil of having a digital SCR in the very near future. The Supreme Court of India is launching into AI-assisted learning very shortly. Our judgments are being translated into every language which the Constitution recognizes. 9,000 of our judgments have already been translated into Hindi, and we are aiming to translate judgments using machine learning tools in all our languages to reach out to people, to make sure that the work of the Supreme Court is not just confined to lawyers and judges and academics, but reaches out to the homes of every Indian. The Supreme Court is about to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Indian Institute of Technology at Madras with a view to leveraging AI into the work of the Supreme Court. As we tackle barriers to information and resources, we should begin to look beyond our traditional destinations for arbitration. Disputes are location agnostic, and so should their resolution be. Many businesses from Tier 2 and Tier 3 Indian cities have a commercial presence across the globe. This is undoubtedly true for businesses located in smaller cities in the countries of South Asia. Such parties who are not located in metropolitan cities must have equal access to resources which enable ADR. This conference is the ideal place for such a decision to begin. But it must not end here. We must find a way to make smaller businesses a part of our conversation in law. I'm told that UNCITRAL Working Group 3 is discussing investor-state dispute settlement reforms. I recollect addressing this topic in 2016 during my panel discussion at the UNCITRAL conference here in Delhi. At that point, the question of whether UNCITRAL should address ISDS reforms was unsettled. We have come a long way, COVID notwithstanding. At that point, the question was completely unsettled. Since then, the UNCITRAL Commission has just adopted the first text on ISDS reforms pertaining to the Code of Conduct for arbitrators and judges in the ISDS process, as well as mediations which take place during this process. This is an example of the pivotal role played by India at UNCITRAL, and particularly in having this topic allotted to a working group. The global community is yet to reach a consensus on some issues regarding investor-state disputes. For instance, some bilateral investment treaties envisage a permanent court as a forum for the resolution of disputes instead of arbitral tribunals, which have traditionally been the forum of choice. Such developments must be discussed by UNCITRAL's working groups. International investment law has been criticized for being disadvantageous to developing countries, particularly those in the global south. It is therefore essential that the formulation of any new systems in international investment law, such as the creation of a permanent court, adequately account for these concerns and ensure that do not remain areas of concern. I'm glad that the Secretary General of ICSID, Ms. McKinney, is here and will be speaking at the conference. While India is not a member of ICSID, it appreciates the contribution of ICSID to the various deliberations under the auspices of UNCITRAL. The need of the hour is a fair and balanced system for the resolution of investor-state disputes. If such an investment court were to become a reality, we must explore the possibility of floating courts instead of the traditional system where all parties travel to a single place where the court is located. This would make the court more accessible to all countries across the globe. The host country agreements with the PCA are one of the avenues by which this could be achieved. Perhaps it is also time for India to revisit its host country agreement with the PCA after more than a decade to explore the possibility of strengthening PCA's presence in India. This could see India as a seat or venue for investment treaty cases and promote international arbitration in India. Finally, I am pleased to note that various international arbitral tribunals and institutions have curated regionally diverse panels of arbitrators. I am certain that this diversity is a contributor to the success of these institutions in transcending geographical and cultural barriers.
गुप्ता, अगर आपको हमारा ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें और हाँ, हमें सब्सक्राइब और फॉलो करना ना भूलें ताकि आप देश और दुनिया की कोई खबर मिस ना करें। तो जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ और देखते रहिए न्यूज़ 24।